Hi all, how's everyone doing? Carlos Cedillo here, and I welcome you to my introductory reading of my book, Myra and Joe. This first reading is called Christmas on Planet Zearth. So, I know what you're thinking now. What in the world is planet Zearth, and where is it? Okay, let me explain something here. This is a supernatural book because the story of Myra and Joe takes place on a planet called Zearth, which is identical to planet Earth, and it is 900 light years away. The names are different on this planet, so Myra and Joe are actually Mary and Joseph and Jesus, and their first baby will be called Manel or Emmanuel. Joe, of course, is going to be shocked when he finds out that Myra, his fiancée, is pregnant and that she will be having a baby called Manel. And furthermore, the father of the baby is not a man or a person. It is God, the Most High. So, the birth of God's baby will be the first Christmas on planet Zearth. Oh, and did I mention that this story takes place in modern times? Yes, you heard right, modern times. Manel, Myra's baby, will be born in 2014, and his birthplace will be Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Okay? Okay, I won't be reading every chapter of this book, but I will highlight the main sections of this incredible Christmas story as it unfolds on planet Zearth. Okay, so here we go. Jingle bells, laughing all the way. Here we go. I'll start on chapter 28. Myra hadn't told Joe about the contractions that had started at 12:07 that morning. Now, she felt uneasy about being out so long, but she didn't want to go back. Liz's contractions had lasted 24 hours before the baby came. Surely we'll be back in Nazareth in time for the delivery, she thought. Her hospital bag and extra blanket were in the back seat. At least she had those things to fall back on. How are you doing, hon? Are you warming up? Her husband asked. Oh, it's nice and toasty in this jacket you got for me. Myra pulled up the furry collar and looked at the road ahead. Why is it snowing so much? I thought the snowstorm was for the Makongi area. Baby, I don't know. Maybe the storm's bigger than what the weather people thought. They don't always get these things right, you know. He put a hand on Myra's rounded stomach. How's he doing? Maybe we should turn back. No. Let's see if it clears up, Myra said. A minute later, Myra winced and pressed her hand to her lower abdomen. Then she started blowing intermittently through her mouth. What's wrong? Is it time? Joe asked. I'm having another contraction. Maybe we should go back. What? When did they start? Early, just after midnight. Oh boy, why didn't you tell me? I need a bathroom. Okay, hold on. There's a gas station up ahead and a motel on the left. Which one do you want? It doesn't matter. Just get me there quickly. Okay, with the engine running, Joe waited for his wife at the gas pump. Oh God, please help me to get Myra to the hospital on time. Don't let the baby come yet. With Myra safely in the pickup, he turned to head back to Nazareth, but stopped when a police car came flashing lights. When a police car with flashing lights pulled in to block the right lane. Joe rolled down his window and pointed north, trying to signal his intention of driving up the blocked lane. An officer in a hooded yellow jacket made his way to the pickup. I'm sorry, sir, but you can't go north on Highway 378. Highway Highway 22 is closed down. Highway 22 is closed down until the snow lets up. Joe shouted through the open window, "My wife is having a baby. I need to get her to the hospital in Nazareth." "Sir, that's not going to be possible. Your best bet will be to find a hospital in Bethlehem." A young mother-to-be could hardly find a more precarious situation than being in the last stage of labor, caught in a snowstorm and unable to reach her hospital. But Myra didn't panic. Her trust was fixed on God. Leaning over on Joe's shoulder, she pondered the words that had flooded her mind when she'd gone to see her Aunt Liz. The memory of those glorious words would forever be engraved on her heart. "My soul adores the Lord, and my spirit is happy in El Elyon, my Savior. For he has seen me. He knows I am nothing. I'm just a girl. From this day forward, all eras will call me blessed. For the Almighty has done wonderful things to me. Hallowed be his name. His forgiveness extends to those who love him. From age to age, with a strong arm, he has dispersed those who are proud of themselves. He abased the haughty that sit in the chief places, but a crown had he given to the humble. He satisfies the hungry with truth and kindness, but gives not to the rich. He has helped his people and has remembered to be merciful. To Abraham, he has remembered to be merciful to Abraham and his descendants, and to all the families of Zearth forever, just as he promised to his ancestors. This is from Luke 1:46 through 55. Adjusting her seatbelt to clear her rounded tummy, Myra asked, "Where are we going?" We're heading to the nearest Bethlehem hospital. There's one on Armstrong Street." "Oh man, look at that traffic. What a time to get caught in a snowstorm. God, please help us." "I recognize this area. Isn't this your parents' house? Isn't your parents' house nearby?" "Yeah, but we're not going there right now. We've got to get you to a hospital." "I can have the baby at their place, Joe. Why don't you call them?" "No, you can't have our baby in a house. You need a doctor and nurses. You need a hospital." Another contraction came, and Joe watched as his wife bent over. All right, let's go to my parents." "Oh, baby, please wait." "Which baby are you talking to?" Myra asked with a weak smile. "Both of you. You're my big baby, and this is my little baby," he said, touching her protruding belly. "Damn it, they're not answering their phone." "Honey, don't say that word. Maybe their phone is out. We'll explain later. Just get us there quick." Okay, I go to page 138 to continue. Okay, 138 is starts with chapter 32. The snow had diminished by the time Joe pulled into the driveway next to the 3-bedroom house with its detached garage on Stratford Street. He dialed his father's number on his Android and let it ring until he got the recording that said, "Sorry, I can't come to the phone right now. Please leave a message." "Babe, they're still not answering. I don't see their car. But wait, I'll see if I can find the key. I know where they hide it." Another contraction came, and Myra started blowing. "Oh God, help Joe find that key. Your baby is about to be born." "Myra, there's no key, but the side door to the garage is open. There's a heater in here, so we could use that." Myra scooted her heavy body over and pushed the door open. Help me, Joe. I can't get out of the car. I need to lay down somewhere. The baby's about to come. My water just broke. Racing to the car, Joe wrapped his arms around his pregnant spouse and eased her out. There's a mattress in the garage. I can get some sheets from the house. You said the house is locked up. Not for long. I'm going to break a window. With extreme care, Joe led his wife through the garage door and walked her to her dad's old car. Here, let me set you inside the car. And guess what? The door's locked. Wouldn't you know it? Why do they always lock everything? Just set me down on the mattress, honey. Myra looked lovingly at her husband as he put his arm around her waist. He shouldered her weight as they bent down together and plopped onto the mattress. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. But I was planning on going for a jog around the block. Funny you. He kissed her on the cheek and disappeared through the door. At the back of the house, Joe raised his arm and brought his elbow down hard, shattering the kitchen door window. He reached through the broken glass, unlocked the door, and hurried to the linen closet. A moment later, Joe entered the garage with clean sheets and blankets. You got them. Wonderful, said Myra. Can you go back and see if you can find another heater? We'll need towels, lots of them, and alcohol, and boil some water. Find a sharp knife or scissors and a cord or maybe some string. See if they have latex gloves. Joe's mental faculties began to falter. Myra, the back door is open now. Why don't I take you into my mother's bedroom? You can have the baby there. Ah, Myra grunted. No, I can barely move. I'll have the baby right here on the mattress. Back in the house, Joe ransacked the kitchen drawers and closets until he found everything except scissors. Before returning to the garage, he set a pot of water to boil on a 6-burner stove. Arms full, Joe came and knelt by Myra. I think I've got everything, and the water's on the stove already. Good. Now put the towels here, she said, patting the mattress, and the gloves. Everything else needs to be boiled. The contraction came, and she waved twice. Hurry, hurry, she muttered weakly, licking his dry lips. Myra's semi-dazed husband took the items to the kitchen and placed them in the boiling water for sterilizing. He pulled out his cell phone and he called the nearest hospital. The water had started to boil, but there was still no answer from the hospital. In the past, he'd experienced difficult situations, but he had never imagined he'd ever be in a situation like this, delivering their baby, God's baby. Dear God, give me strength for this. Help me to remember the delivery tips I Googled, and please warm up the garage for your baby. Myra prayed before focusing on Joe. Put those towels under me. We've got to get ready. The contractions are coming faster and harder. Is that heater working? Put it on max. I need to prop up higher. Get more pillows or cushions, anything. The man kneeling on the mattress didn't move. A pale, expressionless face stared back at Myra. Joe, hello? You're not going to faint, are you? For a beat, Joe stalled. No, I hope not. Tell me what to do. I just did. Get me pillows and cushions so I can prop myself up. Hurry. Working quickly, Joe set up a wall of cushions to support Myra's back. Now put the gloves on and come over here. You need to pull my panties off. Hold on. Another contraction surfaced, more intense than the others. Myra inhaled deeply through her mouth and blew out short puffs of air. Wait, is it inhale through the nose first? Vent them out? Shit, I forgot how I'm supposed to do my breathing. Joe raised an eyebrow. He had never heard his young wife curse, but he thought it best not to comment, at least not at that moment. Honey, I see something coming out. It's the top of the baby's head. Good. He's coming. Get ready to catch. Myra took a huge breath, tucked her chin in, and grunted as she pushed down hard until a purple head slipped through her cervix. Joe marveled at the sight. The head's out, but there's something wrapped around its neck. Panting, Myra looked down, but all she could see was her large belly. It's the cord. Just pull it over his head. Be careful. Go easy. Joe moved his hand toward the umbilical cord and stopped. He pulled back hesitantly. I can't do this. Oh, God. He steadied his hands. And tried again. And he was surprised at how easy it was to unloop the cord from the baby's neck. Okay, done. Now what, honey? The woman was grunting and pushing again. Ugh, ugh. Suddenly, the full bundle of life slipped into Joe's hands. A baby of glorious wonder had come into the world. Okay, this is exciting. I'm going to continue on page 144. Joe, I've got to go pee. Can we put the baby in the car for a minute? Honey, the doors are locked. Oh, yeah, I forgot. But the trunk looks open. Are you serious? You want to put our baby in the trunk of a car? I don't want him on the floor. Myra pushed her hand down on the bedding. This mattress is thin, and you can feel the cold coming through. Come on, we can put the bedding down in here, and wrap him up in a warm blanket. Not totally convinced, Joe asked, why don't we just take him inside the house? The mother lifted the corner of the sheet. Little Manel was still sucking at her breast. No, I'm not taking my baby out in that cold, in that snow. Finally agreed, Joe placed 2 bed mats in the trunk of the old Ford. And with a fluffy wool blanket, he helped Myra wrap their special gift, the Son of God, come from a palace of gold, now inhabited a humble place, the trunk of a car, in an old garage in the town of Bethlehem. On her return, Myra saw a dozen people standing close to the house and the garage. All of them were looking up. Above the house shone a spectacular sight. A vertical cloud of lights of every color revolved in poetic movement with the stars. Joe, go outside and look at what's happening. Not knowing what to expect, her husband went out and closed the door behind him. Moments later, he returned. The people out there, they know about our baby. They're seeing the lights in the sky, are singing a message that a special child has been born this day, and they would find him here in this garage. They're asking to come in. They want to see him. And they're saying, Joe paused and bent down and touched the wondrous baby. They're saying our baby will bring peace and salvation to the people of Zearth. With adoration, Myra looked at her little Manel and said, let them in. Let them come and see the son of El Elyon, the newborn king. Isn't this beautiful? I'll continue. I'm skipping a few parts here, so keep that in mind, okay? I'm just going to the main parts. I'm going to continue here on page 147. A dozen people had squeezed into the garage, and more were coming. This is where Myra's having her baby, inside the garage, right? And now a bunch of people had found out about it somehow, some way. There was a light above the garage that was drawn into the area, and now a lot of them had gone into the garage. So that's where we're picking it up. A dozen people had squeezed into the garage, and more were coming. Inside, people stood in silent reverence, amazed by the sight of a soft, cuddly baby wrapped in a blue blanket and lying in the trunk of an old Ford. Whispers of praise flowed among the people, extolling the newborn, who some said was bathed in a golden glow of light. Myra and Joe sat in folding chairs and gazed serenely at the people as they approached respectfully to worship and to bow their heads before the little bundle of life. At the rear, two people stood on their toes, trying to catch a view of the action. Kim saw a wooden crate, she positioned it close to the wall, and she stood on it. The elevated position gave her a panoramic view of the garage area. With a reporter's eye, she noticed details about the people standing around her. On her right was a teenage couple, the girl leaning her head on a boy's shoulder. In front of them stood an elderly man with a walking cane, and on the left was a businessman wearing a suit and holding a briefcase to his chest. It seemed to her an odd mixture of young and old and rich and poor. What was it? What could be drawing these people to Myra and her baby? Not wanting to disturb the quiet reverence in the enclosure, the woman on the crate made hand signals to Brad. He nodded, reached into his bag, and handed her a Canon camera. Okay, so just a little footnote here. Kim and Brad Kim is a reporter, and she kind of brings this whole story together, kind of gives the readers a bird's eye view of the story and how it all fits together, okay? And Brad is her cameraman. So here we go. And now they're in the garage, also standing at the back of the garage, and Kim is standing on a crate so she can see above the people. She's going to try to take pictures of the baby. Not wanting to disturb the quiet reverence in the enclosure, the woman on the crate made hand signals to Brad. He nodded, reached into his bag, and handed her a Canon camera. Kim pressed right to the viewfinder and focused on Joe and then Myra. The mother's worshipful gaze was on her child. With a slight shift of the camera, a tiny babe wrapped in blue filled the screen. She zoomed in on the chubby, brown-eyed face. "You are the cutest little baby." She snapped a couple of shots and tried to get a different angle. As she zoomed in closer, she saw a new dimension. Within the big brown eyes. In them, she saw an eerie depth of wisdom and understanding, a type of maturity not usual for newborns. "I'm imagining things," she thought. Focusing and refocusing, Kim tried to frame a normal baby view that would make a perfect photo for her story. Then she panicked. The baby was not staring into space. In that moment, she knew he was looking not at her, but into her. Her heart was thumping in her breast. Kim Madison felt naked before the seraphic eyes, but she couldn't break the mutual stare. Within her being, something was pulling and desiring the pure flow of light. She felt it going deep into her soul, cleansing her and making her whole. Brad saw Kim's eyes glaze with tears and handed her a pack of tissues. "Thanks," she said, wiping her eyes. Looking over to her side, she saw a garbage can and tossed her tissue. Then she focused on the mic in her hand and paused for an instant and tossed it into the garbage too. Surprised at her reaction, Brad asked, "What are you doing, Kim? We're not going to do this story." "But what about your career? You need the story." "Screw my career." Kim got off the crate and squeezed through the crowd of people until she was standing at the front, only 3 feet from Myra and the baby lying serenely inside the trunk. "Kim." Myra got up and hugged her reporter friend. "Is it him? Is it the son of the man of light?" "Yes, it's the Son of God." Sorry. I read this story several times. And every time this happens. Yes, it's the Son of God. For a long time, Kim stood next to Myra. They held hands and looked down at the babe, tender and mild. Kim knew her life would never be the same again. And Myra, she knew Zearth would never be the same again. I'm going to stop there, and we'll continue on next time with part 2 of the story Christmas on planet Zearth from the book Myra and Joe.